What's going on, everybody? This is Coryleeboxing, and we got DC Mike TV in the building, man. Podcast ready to get it popping. Man, it is going down, y'all. Man, wow, man. We got a ton of stuff to talk about, man. Wow, man. As you guys can see in the title, Sean Porter retired last night. Okay, that's the type of fight we were looking at last night. Okay, that's the type of fight that went down last night. Okay, it was so much back and forth. Leading up into this fight, can Sean Porter handle an elite fighter? Can Terence Crawford handle an elite fighter? So we had questions for both fighters. We got all the answers last night. We got all the answers last night, man. Me and DC Mike TV will be talking about this. We'll be running down every fight that went down. And we'll be talking about the upcoming fights. You got Javante Davis, pretty much a DMV native, he's gonna be fighting in 2 weeks. And then you got some other upcoming fights, man, that we're gonna be talking about. Canelo's going to cruiserweight. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, you guys. Without further ado, man, DC Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you, Corey?
All right, good, man. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk this boxing, y'all. So last night, if you guys were under a rock somewhere and you guys weren't looking at, boxing at all, Sean Porter and Terence Crawford fought at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and it was one of those fights that I feel like a lot of people were clamoring for this fight. This fight was awesome, man. This fight had everything that a big championship fight needs. You know what I'm saying? It had knockdowns. It had everything. Romania Mike, salute. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in here, man. And it was one of those things, DC Mike, from the opening bell, Sean Porter took over, man. From the opening bell, I feel like Sean Porter, the first 6 rounds, it was Sean Porter's 6 rounds. Almost every round was in the books for Sean Porter. You can make a case maybe, 4-2 at best for Terence Crawford. But, I mean, I don't know if you watched the fight, DC Mike, but, the first 6 rounds were pretty much mainly Sean Porter's rounds. What do you think about that, man?
I actually did watch a whole complete fight this time. I watched the whole fight this time. I don't know. To me, a lot of rounds were really.
Hold on, we can't hear you that good. The volume.
Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you barely, though. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Is it better?
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I was saying, I saw the whole complete fight.
So you seen the whole fight. So that's what I'm saying, man. In the first 6 rounds, it was Sean Porter's. After that, I feel like, Terence Crawford started implementing his game plan from round 6 on up. It's almost like DC Mike. It was almost like Bomac had a game plan like, all right, Terence, you're not starting to the 6th round. I mean, yeah, he started. Yeah, he did, things here and there. He might have won, maybe 1 or 2 rounds, in the first 6 rounds. But I mean, Sean Porter, but the question that I had to ask myself was, did you ask yourself the same question? How long can how long can Sean Porter keep up this crazy work rate that he was doing, in the first 6 rounds? Did you ever think about that? Like, is he gonna die? Is he gonna fade off late? Did you ever think about that?
I haven't. I know the way Sean fights, he's putting a lot of spit and amount of like he's put a lot of big tough fights. He's never died off. It never crossed my mind once. Just to go that. It didn't cross my mind.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind.
Oh man. Yeah. Hold on real quick. Let me turn up your audio, man. I can barely hear you. Let me. Hello, can you hear me? DC. I can barely hear him. DC Mike, can you hear me? Eee.
DC, can you hear me? DC Mike.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Corey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yep, I still hear you.
All
You
right,
can't hear
man.
me?
My bad, y'all. We having some technical difficulties, man. We trying to get this joint popping. But yeah, I can hear you better now. So yeah, man. With that being said, man, both fighters, did good. They had their moment. But I feel like Terence Crawford. I feel like Terence Crawford. Um, I feel like Terence Crawford had, I feel like Terence Crawford was definitely, the dominant fighter. But in the first 6 rounds, I thought like, wow, he hasn't really started fast yet. He's still, winding up, and I just really thought that, wow, man, what else does this guy have to do to be in a, to win this fight, and the more I thought about
Yeah.
it, and Terence Crawford definitely pushed on more towards the latter part of the fight, man.
Yeah.
Romania Mike says your mic is low now. I cannot hear you. Okay, we can hear me now. Okay. But yeah, man. So it's one of those things, you guys, man. I really truly feel that Terence Crawford is a hell of a hell of a fighter. He did awesome things in that ring last night, and he showed Sean Porter why he's the top pound for pound fighter in the entire world, man. DC Mike, how did you feel about the fight in its entirety, and how did you feel about Terence Crawford and Sean Porter's performance?
Well, yeah, I thought the whole fight in its entirety was a great fight for what it was. It was a high what you call it, a high chess match type of fight. Both guys jogging for position. Both guys, not wanting to get hit by any combinations or any big shots. And it was just that type of fight. I mean, I'm proud of Sean. Sean, I've been knowing Sean for 6 or 7 years now. Always a nice, humble guy, down to earth. God fearing man. I know people don't want to hear about God and whatnot, but I'm just telling you how I feel about him personally. And me watching the fight, man, my heart was racing. I met Crawford once, but I've known Sean a little bit longer. So my heart was racing. I didn't want to see Sean get hurt. Well, I didn't want to say any of them get hurt, but it was a good fight. And obviously a lot of people are kind of upset at Mr. Porter for throwing a towel in, but guess that's his son. He don't want to see his son get hurt, and he kind of. I mean, I don't know. To me, it seemed like he kind of threw Sean under the bus at the post-fight press conference, but it is what it is. But before the fight, Sean and his dad obviously gave Crawford a lot of props. Stated that they've been knowing him since the amateurs, and they know what kind of talent they're going up against. So they never downplayed Crawford's talent or anything like that. I don't know if anybody watched the interview he did or a press conference where he was in the USA Olympic camp. What was that 2008, if I'm not mistaken? And he was one of the head coaches for Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford. Something had happened and Crawford was mad or something, and he had I don't remember everything he said, but basically I know I'm kind of ranting. Oh, you skipping in and out? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
All right. Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Doing good, bro. It says
Okay, yeah.
it says dude sound like he at the grocery store. They said that earlier. Come on,
Yeah,
DC Mike,
bro,
what the fuck? Yo.
yeah. I'm out here moving, y'all. I'm getting
He
this money,
moving,
so it's
y'all.
gonna
He
be a
working,
little,
man. So just try to put it on DC Mike when you're not talking. Just try to put it on mute if you can. If you can, it's cool. Andre in the chat says Porter
Okay.
loves that right hand left counter. If Bud would have threw uppercuts, Sean might have actually went to sleep. Wow. How do you feel about what Andre just said?
I've never seen nobody put Sean to sleep, not even Spence. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's
I
true
don't
too.
think, I don't think, I don't think Crawford punches any harder than Spence. Um, let's say he was the first guy to, stop Porter. I mean, it's a bunch of arguments you can make. He punches harder than Spence, or Spence punches harder, or Crawford got 3 losses. He was already washed. I mean, it's a few arguments you can make, but I don't want to go down that road. So I'm gonna just say, I mean, he could have hit him with uppercuts and put him to sleep, or he could have hit him with a bunch of uppercuts and he might not have put him to sleep. So I really can't say. But I mean, I guess it's something to think about. To think if you'd caught him with a bunch of uppercuts while he was dipping down, he could have knocked him out cold. I don't know, but I don't know. Oh, can't hear you, Corey. It's like you muted, bro. I can't hear you. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. Corey's gonna come back in 1 second. If you guys can still hear me. Having some technical difficulties with the audio. If anybody got Instagram, you guys can follow me at DC Mike TV everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, everywhere.
All right, we back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
All right, I got the headphones. Everybody good, y'all. Toby in the chat, Romanian Mike, Andre, smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up, man. Coryleeboxing, DC Mike TV. Do not forget the TV, man. This dude is for real about this shit, man. So yeah, man. I mean, what do you think moving forward? I mean, you guys. I mean, not even moving forward, but did Sean Porter retire? I mean, how do you feel about the retirement, man? Did you see it coming? Were you shocked? Were you like, wow, man, why is this guy retiring almost not I wouldn't say he's in the prime of his career, but towards the end, he was getting teed off. And I had a couple guys in the chat last night saying that, those were flat. This is their words that they said last night on my podcast, on my live stream, DC Mike. Let me see if you agree. They said those last 2 knockdowns in the 10th round were flash knockdowns. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, it was Flash. I'm sure he
No,
was
heck
he
no.
might have been.
He was hurt. 100% he was hurt. I'm sorry. Sean Porter was
I mean,
hurt, and then Kenny Porter seen that he was hurt, and Kenny Porter stopped it, man. Kenny Porter said, you know what? I see my son every day sparring. I see what he can do. I see what he can't do. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the guy was the first knockdown was like, okay, that was pretty quick. Boom, boom. But the second one was like bing, bang, and he was on the ground again. It was like, did he have any more? Was his leg? Even Bob Arum, 90 plus years old, Bob Arum said that the fight got stopped at the right time because he was getting hurt and he was wobbly. If Bob Arum can see that, I'm pretty sure DC Mike can see that.
You said, was he wobbly?
He was wobbly.
I'm
I mean,
sure he
his
was.
legs were, he didn't have all his he didn't have all of his bearings with him. That's the best thing I can say. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up, man, please.
I don't know. I'm sure he was hurt, but he was hurt, but it was a flash. I'm sure when he stood up, he might have been, a little dizzy, but he wasn't hurt to where he, like Trevor Burbick when Tyson was hitting him, he was, falling down and getting up. Nothing like that. But, I mean, it was a hard shot on the nose, the first punch.
Hey, hold on, man. Breaking fucking news. I gotta say, DC Mike, I've been telling you I've been in this prediction league. Remember I've been telling you about this?
Uh-huh.
Guess what Toby just said? I did not notice, you guys. I did not notice. There's over 50 guys in this prediction league. Some professional fighters, some YouTube creators. Okay? Out of all 50 people, it says the guy Toby in the chat says, congratulations, Corey Lee, on joint first place in the prediction league, bro. Salute. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. So I got tied for first place out of over 50 people in the prediction league. DC Mike, what's up with that though?
Oh, congratulations, Corey.
Yeah, man,
That's
I've
good
been,
stuff.
like I said, I've been picking these fights, man. A lot of people, they wanna, zoom in on some of the picks I had early in my YouTube career. But I think I'm doing pretty good now in the prediction league, man. And when the next season starts, DC Mike, I think you should get into it, bro. But
Okay.
all you do is just pretty much he give out cash prizes and stuff like that, man. I just like it to see what I can do and to see how good I am with the prediction league and stuff like that. Let's see what else we
Mm-hmm.
got in here. Yeah, man. So DC Mike, how do you feel, DC Mike, about Kenny Porter stopping the fight? Do you feel like it was stopped too soon? Do you feel like that was right on time? How do you feel about that?
I mean, Sean obviously could continue, but I mean, that's his son. He ain't want to see him, take any more damage, so he stopped it. But Sean definitely, could have went on. He wasn't, dazed to where he didn't know where he was at. He was coherent to where, he stood up, he knew where he was at. He picked up the count, he knew, he was in a fight, and he definitely could have continued, but his father was like, I don't want to see my
Do
son
you
get hurt,
think he could
too
have
many,
continued?
yeah,
You do?
yeah. Hello.
I don't know, DC Mike, man.
Let me
That
take a
was
quick
tough,
picture.
man. That would have been tough.
Oh no, mate.
You think he could have continued for real?
Thank you. Okay. I think so. Like I said, now how
You
long
so
he
you
would have,
think you think in that 10th round, you think in that 10th round, you think in that 10th round, you think in that 10th round that he could have continued. That's what you're telling me right now.
when as far as how long he would have lasted, I couldn't tell you that.
But you
But I
think
say he
he
was
could
up
have
on his.
continued though. Crypto Colors, Napoleon Armstrong, Toby, what's happening? Smash that like button. You think so, DC?
Oh yeah. I say he wasn't. He knew where he was at. He knew he was in a fight.
Uh-huh.
He was. Kind of steady on his feet, kind of sort of. I'm sure he
Uh-huh.
was still hurt. Like I said,
Uh-huh.
how long he would have lasted, I couldn't answer that question.
Wow.
Maybe
Smash that like button. Crypto Colors in the chat says Coryleeboxing. What's up, fam? I told you Bud too good for Porter. Now we got all the guys saying that they picked the right. So some of you guys picked Porter though, man. Don't come in this show talking about. Hey, DC Mike. Don't
fan.
nobody want to eat crow on that Sunday the day after, bro. Don't nobody want to eat crow, bro.
I know. We're
Who
switching
did you
sides, huh?
pick in this fight, and what round did you pick him to knock him out in? What were you thinking, DC Mike?
I wasn't thinking of a knockout, but I said I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't have been surprised if Crawford can knock him down, even though he coming from 35 140. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford can knock Porter down, but I didn't think he was gonna, put him down twice.
Okay.
And even the second knockdown, when Crawford let off, I don't know, 4 or 5 punches, he landed the overhand out the southpaw position and landed the overhand right hook, on the side of the head / ear. And then the punches after that, Sean blocked all of it. He just kind of, went down. So out of that, the second knockdown, like I said, the first shot landed. And then the ones after that, Sean blocked him. I guess he was probably out of bad position and hurt. And he just kind of went down. It ain't like the shot. I don't want to,
Yeah.
diminish his victory or his knockdown. It is what it is. Crawford fought a good
Yeah.
fight, and he just won. But yeah, y'all gotta watch that replay again. The first knockdown was a left
left uppercut on the nose, and then the second one he landed the overhand right out of the southpaw position and hit him on the side of the ear. And then the punches after that were not landed. If y'all
Romanian
think I'm
Mike, who
lying,
you
y'all can.
talking about? Romanian Mike, who you talking about? You saying I got too many moderators? You're saying you're just keeping it real. You're saying they blocking fans for what? Blocking who? Who's blocking what, Romanian Mike? I haven't seen anybody blocked in here yet. I hope none of my moderators are blocking fans for no reason. Be a quick way to get your wrench taken, dude. But Chad, man, everybody in here, smash that like button. But you know, DC Mike, to be honest with you, where does Sean Porter go from here, man? Is he gonna be really retired, or is just one of those things? Because they did have a rematch clause. It did come out later that there was supposed to be a second fight. And if it didn't happen the way it did at the end, if the fight just played out and there was no knockdowns and Sean Porter just finished the fight a unanimous decision and he lost, I would have loved to see a rematch. If those last 3 rounds were competitive, I would love to see a rematch. But I mean, Sean Porter faded so late. It was just like there's no I don't want to see a rematch. Do you? DC Mike, you here? I don't want to see a rematch, man. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah,
with
I
you
don't
guys.
need a Corey.
I don't want to see a rematch, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to see a rematch.
Yeah, I don't either. They rematch each other to be the same old drag. Both guys fainting and jogging for position and not wanting to get hit until eventually, Crawford will, catch up with him again and hit him with a big shot. It'd be the same old drag, and it was a
Hmm.
good fight, but I wouldn't want to see a rematch.
You don't want to see a rematch? Okay, then. Yeah. But Crypto Color says no rematch, no way, no how. Andre says, Corey, what impressed you the most last night with Crawford? Okay, okay. What impressed me the most last night with Crawford is that he was definitely switching stance. We knew he was gonna do that. We knew he was gonna go. We knew he was gonna go righty and lefty. Predominantly, lefty. He was in that southpaw stance, and I think that southpaw stance gave Sean Porter some problems. DC Mike, what do you think? I think it did.
I think so, but that's why he, sparred with Javante Davis the last 2 weeks of camp to help,
He did spar with
Sean Porter get.
Javante Davis, y'all. And Javante Davis said he did, hold his own with Sean Porter. I know you heard that in his 24/7. I just watched that yesterday. The Javante Davis
Right,
24/7 is out there, y'all.
right. So, I mean, Javante gave him that southpaw look, different
And,
feints and
and, and I don't
different
mean to
looks.
cut you off, DC Mike, but Javante Davis's camp was being held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yep, 100% true.
You know.
Yep, but
So what do you think? I
he brought
mean,
Tanky.
so yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, he brought Tank in to give him the southpaw look, and I don't know how much Tank was trying to mimic Crawford on that, or he was just they
Hmm.
might have just
But
brought
how
Tank
in
in
the
to
fuck? I'm gonna let you go because I feel like I could say something about everything you're ready to say. But I just feel like how the hell can Javante Davis mimic Terence Crawford? I mean, it's no way. I'm sorry,
yeah.
there's no way. I don't know. Maybe,
What
maybe
what
go ahead. Go ahead.
was sometimes when the Detroit the fighters come in with their coaches, sometimes they try if a fighter can mimic the other fighter, they'll have him do it. If he can't, they'll just have him come in and do his thing, fight how we fight. They'll bring him in and say, okay, we're looking for the southpaw stance. Here's southpaw. They'll just have Tank or whoever come in and just fight the way they fight. So if Tank couldn't mimic him, they probably just told Tank, man, just go ahead, fight how you fight. Just out of your southpaw position. That's it. But
For real?
yeah, they don't always bring a fighter in all the time to mimic the other guy. If he can't, they'll just tell him,
No, but
fight how
listen,
you
the
fight.
way that Sean, but listen, the way that the way that Sean Porter looked at his dad when he stopped the fight, y'all, was out of control. I'm gonna show you guys real quick a little clip that I just seen on Instagram. The way that Sean Porter looked at his dad after his dad stopped that fucking fight, it looked like he wanted to hit his dad, man. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put it right here, right now. Here it is, okay? Oh, hold on. I can't even. Hold on. Let me get it right. Hold on. I mean, the guy. You guys gotta understand. Look at how he looked. I mean, he looked at him like, "What are you doing? I'm good." Was Sean Porter good? Is the $1 million question, man. What do you think, DC Mike? I don't think he was good. I'm sorry. The more I think about it, I don't think he was good, man. I'm sorry, man. Maybe some people might have thought he was good. I didn't think he was good, you know. But like I said, man, that's just me, man. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's go to the chat. Romania Mike says, did Spence leave because he was disappointed with the outcome, or did he leave because he was gonna get bombarded with questions? That's a good question. That's a really good question. And that's what we need to talk about next, DC Mike. What the fuck is Earl Spence gonna do, man? Do you feel like Earl Spence is ducking? A lot. And listen, breaking news, you guys. Breaking news, and I cannot wait to talk to you about this, DC Mike. Terence Crawford is a free agent now. That means he can fight with any promotional company. That means he can fight, and he can pretty much do a Canelo Alvarez. He can fight on the zone. He can fight on PBC. He can fight on Top Rank. One fight max deals. That's what I think he should do for moving on for the rest of his career. And this is when I really think that Terence Crawford could fight 3 to 4 times a year if he does it the right way. He can fight on Showtime in February. All he did get a cut though. He did get a cut, so he does have to heal his cut. But other than that, do you think that Terence Crawford took a whole lot of damage in this fight? I don't. I do not. What do you think, DC?
I don't think neither one of them did. Sean got hit with 2 big shots, and that was basically it. Neither one of them took a lot of damage. I mean, they went 10 rounds, and neither one of them.
A lot of damage?
No, not at all. It took a serious hit. From what I see, he took maybe 2 or 3 big shots throughout the 10 rounds, and that was it.
Well,
I mean, I didn't see anything more than that.
Understand, huh?
I said I didn't see anything more than that. They were jogging for position, and one guy coming in, and they headbutting each other on accident.
Let me ask you this though, DC Mike. If the fight were to continue, if they did not stop, if Kenny Porter did not throw in the towel, could Sean Porter have continued that fight? That's a question I gotta ask you.
Yeah, his best bet would have been to retreat and tie, Crawford up. But if he was just going to fight the way he was going, continue fighting, then Crawford possibly, could have put him down again. And then his dad would have been like, okay, I just seen it. Yeah, if he didn't know how to, backpedal and retreat and tie him up, if he didn't know how to do that, if he was going to continue to fight the way he knew how to fight in Porter, Crawford probably could have put him down again.
Yo, that's crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think? I mean, moving forward, what fights do you want to see Terence Crawford in next, DC Mike? What do you want to see Terence Crawford do? Be honest.
He said be honest. Well, obviously, everybody wanted the Spence fight. I think Bob Earl wanted him to fight Josh Taylor. He think that'd be the most lucrative fight over there in the UK, and Josh Taylor. The arenas can fit, 60,000, 70,000 people in the seats. So Crawford, maybe, Bob had a good plan. Maybe. And now that you think about it in hindsight, think about it though, Corey. Over here in the States, you get 20,000 seats. Over there in the UK, you get 70,000. Mm-hmm. He possibly could have got more money if he fought over in the UK. But maybe, Crawford being 30. Yeah. And Crawford being 34. How old is Spence? 33 or something like that?
Spence is about 33, 34. They're around the same age.
Yeah. So maybe, Crawford let's fight now. We don't want to wait until we, quote unquote, are old or out of our prime. So maybe he just wants to, get it Spence as quickly as he can and then worry about everything else after that. So I'm not too sure about maybe people in the comments can, refresh my memory. Is Josh Taylor a champion? Or is he an intercontinental champion or silver champion? Does
Josh
anybody know?
Taylor is the Josh Taylor is the undisputed champion at 140 pounds. He's got all the belts, I believe, and he's moving up to 147. But
Oh,
yes, that would be a good fight, I think. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, he's still gonna be smaller than Terence Crawford, I think. He hasn't had any time to get acclimated to 147 pounds. I don't think he's had any fight at 147 pounds. And Bob Arum's just trying to pull a fucking shoe out of his ass, excuse me, because he got no more fighters for Terence Crawford to fight. Terence Crawford has single-handedly wiped out Top Rank's 147-pound stable. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, DC Mike? Okay, DC Mike's not with us right now. But I just think he's wiped them out, man. I think he's wiped out all of the guys, at that division. And moving forward, we'll see. We'll see. But right now,
yeah,
I just don't think that, what were you saying, DC?
yeah. I think Crawford wiped them all out as well. And now that you mentioned that Josh Taylor is 140 pounds, then in that regard, now I don't want to see the fight. Because if he go over there and get a big paycheck and fight Taylor and beat Taylor, they're going to say, oh, well, he wasn't a welterweight anyway. So Crawford's going to be in a no-win situation. Now, if he fights Spence, I don't want to, jump the gun on you, Corey. Now, let's say if he fights Spence next year or whatever, and let's say he beats Spence, people are going to say, oh, he was in a car accident. He had detached retina.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh,
I wanted to see it.
shout out to Champ Ross in the chat on DC Mike. He says, and this is the prediction league that I'm in. Champ Ross, I'm tied for first place. Man, I think I did a good job this week, man, in your prediction league. Shout out to Champ Ross in the chat. He says Taylor's coming off knee injury, but he's fighting Cottrell in February or March at 140, defending all of his titles. So he's still at 140. That motherfucker's still at 140. See, Bob Arum is trying to keep Terence Crawford because he knows Terence Crawford can be a crossover pay-per-view star now. I feel like Terence Crawford can be a crossover pay-per-view star now. And I think that, this fight is going to propel Terence Crawford to be in those big fights. But he's got to have a dancing partner. He's got to have, fighters that fight fans want to see. He's got to have a fighter that fight fans want to see. Shout out to DC Mike. He got booted out. He's back in this now. He's back in here now.
Yeah.
We know you
Sorry about
booted
that,
yourself
everybody.
out, but you're back in here. You're back in here. We know how it goes. But
Sorry about that,
I'm
everybody.
gonna read some. Oh yeah, man. They fuck with you, man. DC Mike. They already know what's up. Champ Ross said, "What's up, Corey? First place this week in the prediction league. Big ups. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, that's pretty good though. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna gloat too much, but I gotta kind of gloat a little bit, man. Out of all them people that's in that prediction league, and I got first place, and a lot of these motherfuckers be saying shit about my predictions. Put some respect on Coryleeboxing's name, motherfucker. Crypto Color says Bob just wants Bud Crawford's money. That's true. That's true. And did you see in the post-fight interview where Bud Crawford said Spence could Bob in front of Bob Arum's face? In front of his face, man. That's why I respect Terence Crawford so much. He said Bob Arum couldn't get me the Earl Spence fight when he was my promoter. How can he get me the Earl Spence when he's not gonna be promoting me? And then he was just pretty much like said that right in front of Bob Arum, and Bob Arum had the most goofiest, distraught look in his face. And I just feel like, man, he hit it right on the head, man. But now, being that Terence Crawford is a free agent, y'all. Listen to this now, y'all. Terence Crawford is a free agent, okay? That means he can fight on any promotional company he wants to, okay? Smash that like button. Bear with me. Listen. Terence Crawford is a free agent. He can fight on any promotional company. Earl Spence does not have a scheduled upcoming fight. Why can't we get this fight next? DC Mike, did you hear me?
I heard you. Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I want to see Spence get a tune-up, but obviously, boxing fans want to see champions and champions only. But I want to see him get a tune-up, to make sure the confidence is there, as far as with his eye and stuff like that. But that I want to see him get a tune-up to make sure his confidence. He's not insecure about his eye.
Do you think his confidence? I mean, so how do you feel like? So how do you feel like moving forward? How do you feel like he's gonna do? Mason says, "Oh, let me read the chat, you guys. I'm going to the chat, you guys. Let me see. Andre says, yeah, I read your chat, Andre. Salute to Andre. Toby in the chat says, Corey Lee gloat like fuck. He says, I did a couple weeks ago when I was first place. No doubt, bro. It feels good, man. It definitely feels good. Crypto Color says, that's true. He said Bob just wants Bud's money. That's true. Crypto Color says, let's go. They have to fight now and then do a rematch like Kings do. That's true. Crypto Color says Tank is moving up in the future. Is going to be Tank versus Shakur. I like that fight. I like that fight. Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. How do you see that fight going down?
A chess match, obviously.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Tank. 'Cause obviously, I've been knowing him longer, but it's gonna be a chess match. Obviously Tank's shorter, Shakur's taller. So I mean, it'll kind of maybe be something similar to when Gervonta Davis fought Mario Barrios. Barrios was kind of winning because he was keeping them on the outside, not necessarily landed all that much, but he was busier than Tank. Keeping them on the outside.
Who was gonna be the Barrios?
Shakur. I'm saying it kind of be similar like that because Shakur's taller than Tank. So like I said, if Shakur is on his game and keep Tank on the outside and tie him up, from 1 to 12, then he could possibly win a decision. But if
so?
Tank get it, yeah. But if Tank get on the inside and hit him with a big shot, then Tank could probably put him out. But Shakur, in my opinion, is smart enough to tie Tank up when he needs to. But I'm obviously go for Tank in that fight because he's one of my hometown guys. But that'll be a great fight.
So yeah, moving forward though, man. Moving forward, a lot of people want to see. Toby says, coming to a street near you, Earl Spence Bud's gonna move in next door. Laugh out loud. Shakur too smart for Tank. That's what Champ Ross says. Wow, Shakur is too smart for Tank. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think he's too smart. I think he's is just as smart as Tank is. I don't think he's any smart. I think he's just as smart. But the only thing helps Shakur out, he's taller. So it's like if it's a 5'6",
huh?
If a 5'6" Tank fight a 5'11" Tank, which one would you pick? The 5'6" Tank or the 5'11" Tank?
Damn,
they fight the same way. One is just taller.
Probably the 5'11".
Yeah. So Shakur, he's as smart as Tank is. He's not 5'11", but he's taller, arms longer, and he's smart enough to where he could, possibly keep Tank on the outside and win a decision. But I think Tank hits hard enough to where he can, obviously nullify.
So what do you think moving forward, man? Moving forward, DC Mike. I mean, we got a lot of people in the chat saying that the Bud is going to knock out Spence and then he's going to knock out Canelo at 154. Wow.
Knock out Canelo at 154.
What the yo?
What? 154? Who said that? What the hell? 154, bro.
Oh shit.
Did he mean 174? Did he mean 154? Because Canelo would be a dead
He
man if he come to
says in the
154.
chat. He says in the chat. He says at Coryleeboxing, Bud is going to knock out Spence. Then he's going to knock out Canelo at 154.
So, bro, how's Canelo
Wow.
gonna make 54? Who's this? Crypto Color. How is
Yeah, that's
Canelo gonna make 154? Explain that one. I don't know how he gonna make it.
Yeah. He's fighting at
You gotta pay.
cruiserweight, right?
Yeah, 190. So how the hell he gonna make 154? For Canelo to make 154, you gotta guarantee him $100 million for him to even kill himself to get down. So him making 154 is dead.
So that's not gonna happen.
Nope. But as far as him knocking out Spence, I ain't never really see Spence hurt. I've seen Crawford hurt. After he just beat Porter the way he did,
man. Yeah, man.
It just may be like that type of fight. It may be who gets hit first. Because at first I was kind of sleeping on Crawford's power, but I knew his power was kind of real when he beat what's his name Benavidez, his brother.
Oh, Benavidez.
Yeah, when he knocked him out, at that point I was like, okay, his power was real at 47. Now some people may think, oh, I didn't think his power was real till after he knocked Porter down twice. I thought his power was real after he knocked out Benavidez. So as far as him punching harder than Spence, I don't know.
So what do you think moving forward? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Napoleon in the chat says Earl Spence's legacy ain't without. He said, I guess he says Earl Spence's legacy ain't without. He says Earl Spence without Terence Crawford. Wow, man.
You see how boxing fans.
What do you think about that, man? Huh? No, he says, Bud.
Yeah.
He says, hold on, excuse me. He says, let me read this chat the right way. This joint. Let me find it again. Napoleon in the chat says Earl Spence's legacy ain't shit without Bud. Bud solidified already, looking for more. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like Earl Spence has to fight Terence Crawford to solidify his legacy?
No. I guess it'll be a good thing if they do fight each other. You see how boxing fans are, Corey? At one point, Spence was the baddest man out there. He had one slow year. Now it amuses me,
but
Corey,
they
man.
said, but you got look, boxing is what have you done for me lately? And Earl Spence has not fought lately, man. I mean,
right.
And that's another thing, you guys. We got to take in all this into consideration. Okay? Terence Crawford has not had any major injuries lately. Okay? He's been in the ring lately. He's been very active lately. He just dominated Sean Porter, okay? More than Earl Spence and more than Keith Thurman and more than Danny Garcia, okay? 3 top welterweights, okay? You got to take them all out because Sean Porter got destroyed by Terence Crawford. And you cannot say that. And we're going to get on what Kenny Porter said in the post-fight in a minute, man. But not taking anything away from Sean Porter, Earl Spence, did not do that to Sean Porter. So moving forward, how do you see a Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence fight going down, DC Mike? Break it down for me, my brother. Here we go. Here goes DC Mike, y'all.
It'll be a good fight. I think, record-wise, looking at the numbers right now, Spence look like he has more power than, Crawford. Looking at him, was he 26-0 with 21 knockouts?
27-0 with 21 knockouts.
Okay, 27-0 with 21 knockouts. And also Crawford has 38 fights out of 29 knockouts. So I mean, looking at it on paper, Spence seemed like he'll be the bigger puncher. But I mean, after he did what he did to Porter, I think it'll kind of be maybe the power may be the same. But I think the difference is who got the better chin. So, I mean, it's like when Mayweather before he fought Pacquiao, people saw Mayweather ducking Pacquiao. He's this, he's that. Pacquiao beat Ricky Hatton and De La Hoya in a better fashion than Mayweather did. What happened when Mayweather fought Pacquiao? He's supposed to sleep Mayweather, right? Because he beat Mayweather's opponents quicker than Mayweather did. So they was like match him up. When Mayweather fought Pacquiao, what happened? So I mean, I'm not downplaying Crawford and the way he fights. I think it'll be a great, excellent fight that the fans want to see. And I think it'll be a 50-50 fight. But Spence definitely punches hard enough to where if he catch Crawford on the chin, he can put Crawford out.
You think so?
Yeah, do I think so? Yeah.
Yeah. For real?
No problem. No problem. No problem at all. He said what?
Man.
No problem.
No, that's what I'm saying because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It's like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but wow, man. I feel you, though. I feel you 100% on that, man. Okay. What do you feel like moving forward, So who wins that fight? Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence right now. If you had to pick right now, your prediction can change, but right now, what do you think?
Well, looking at the common opponents they have in common, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't pick one. I couldn't tell you at this point in time.
You couldn't tell me right now.
Not right now. No, Spence got to get back
straight up, man. I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. Since you can't tell me, I can't tell you. I think Earl Spence can get beat by Terence Crawford. I'm gonna be straight up, man. I mean, the way Terence Crawford, and I'm not saying that just because of this fight. This fight showed me that Terence Crawford has a plan A, a plan B, and if that motherfucking plan C don't work, I think he's even got a plan D. I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. He's that versatile. He's that dangerous. And now we see, dare I say, Terence Crawford has the power, man. I mean, this dude's been knocking out guys. He's been stopping them, man. Stopping them. Stopping them. These are not just regular, oh, I'm gonna knock you out. I mean, I'm gonna win on decision, I'm gonna win on decision. That's not what Terence Crawford's doing. Terence Crawford is 38-0. He's the only welterweight actively, that's getting close to Floyd Mayweather's 50-0. He's only 12 fights away. And I mean, I never thought that we would see a guy coming up on Floyd Mayweather's legacy like Terence Crawford is. I mean, is he anywhere close to Floyd Mayweather's legacy? If you match him up?
Yeah, I guess what he accomplished, what he's accomplished, yeah. But if everybody was so stuck on the undefeated thing, let him get past his 12 fights and see what happened. Deontay Wilder got to 40-0, 41. He couldn't do it. So I'm not doubting Crawford or anything like that. But looking at what he's accomplished, he's doing great. 135, 140. Now he's looking to do it at 47. But he has to get past his 12 fights to say that. I mean, I think people putting a lot of pressure. People putting a lot of pressure on these fighters, man, especially Crawford and Tank and a lot of these other guys. They put a lot of pressure on them. Let them get to the 50-0 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
Smash that like button, y'all. D-Lo 404 says, checking in, salute. Crypto Color says, Bud has all of the weapons you need. He could fight going backwards and forwards and fight with both hands, just like Mayweather, and he adjusts to anything. Toby says, Champ Ross, let my ass off. Only the best for Canelo. D-Lo 404 says, I don't really care about the 50-0, but I respect what Bud has accomplished. Wow.
Yeah.
D-Lo 404 says, fight the fight. Don't chase that 50-0. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He got a good point. Wow, people can only be who they are. You can't be like Mayweather. You can't be like Sugar Ray Leonard. Just be who you are.
You think
Even if you
so?
got a loss or a cup, yeah. Like Sean Porter, like even though he got 4 losses, Sugar Ray Leonard got 3 losses, and he's still one of the greatest. So it's like it is what it is. I think
Yeah,
boxing need
that's
to start putting
true.
his undefeated tab on these fighters. UFC ain't like that. You can have 8 or 9 losses in UFC and still get a championship fight and get respected and all that. In boxing, you take a loss and you garbage, you washed up. I mean, I don't know.
That's true. That's 100% true, man. That's 100% DC Mike. I appreciate you stating that, man. That's 100%
Some
true,
drop.
man. But but like I said, DC Mike, boxing is a business, and boxing is what have you done for me lately? That's what boxing is all
Yep.
about.
That's exactly what it is.
And
So Spence,
with
Spence,
that being said, I mean,
Spence been out the loop, and everybody
what you say?
basically, stomping. I said Spence been out the loop right now because of his, detached retina, and everybody kicking him while he down. And it's like boxing
And
fans are
and that's
crazy.
another thing. That's another thing. I was trying to get on that earlier. Terence Crawford has not had any of the injuries remotely close to Earl Spence. Will those injuries finally catch up to Earl Spence? What do you think, DC Mike? I mean, he's got a detached retina, which a lot of people say that could end boxer's career. He's got a, he was drinking and what I mean, and pretty much flipped his car and almost, luckily he's still with us, but that was another
Yeah.
learning experience. And I mean, all of those things combined, what do you think? I mean, going into 2022, where does Earl Spence go?
I mean, there's a lot of places he can go. He's still a champ. So, I mean, he can he can jump out there and fight another champ. But I mean, if I got a detached retina, I'll probably want to get a tune up to see, what it's like
Oh
getting punched on the eye and stuff like
man,
that.
damn.
So I mean, he can jump out there and go right to Crawford. But I mean, I wouldn't do it. I would, take a tune up to
Earl,
see what it feel like to get popped on the eye.
but listen. Earl Spence has not fought. Listen, Earl Spence has not fought since December 5th of 2020. So that means that's pretty much 2019. That's pretty much 2019. He has not fought. And next month it'll be 2 years since Terence Crawford. I mean, excuse me, since Earl Spence has fought. You don't think that's gonna play a little bit? You don't think that that's gonna mess him up a little bit, DC Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
2 years, 2 years not being in that ring. 2 years.
100%. And if he fight Crawford next year and he beat him, what they
Whoa.
gonna say? Man, he been out for 2 years and he got detached. I'm like, y'all knew that before y'all kept hyping it up.
But
So if
you
you know
gotta
he not
understand,
100%.
DC Mike. I just want to say this one thing. There is a ton of Earl Spence fans, and they're riding the hell out of him. Win, lose, or draw. So, with that being said, and with
How you
all
doing?
of the Earl Spence fanboys out there, what do you think Earl Spence should do? Should he fight Terence Crawford next? Should he get a tune up? What do you think? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna get the tune up. It only makes sense to me.
So you
I
really
mean, would
pushing
you
for the
jump in?
tune up?
I mean, if you had a touch retina, would you jump in there with a guy who just knocked out your last opponent? Would you do that?
I mean, you gotta
He
understand,
thinking.
man. I mean, I'm cut from a different cloth. No, I'm just joking. Um, I mean, it
Would
just
you?
depends on how Earl Spence feels. Nobody knows Earl Spence's body but Earl Spence. You know what I mean? And
Right.
if Earl Spence feels like he's 100% ready, we gotta take him for his word, man. He's been right
No,
ever
no.
since then. And that's another thing,
Right.
DC Mike. You can't say you ready for Terence Crawford, and then if he loses, then say, oh, this happened or that happened or this happened. I want Earl Spence to be. But what fighter is 100% going into a championship fight? I feel like no fighter is 100% going into a championship fight. There's always a lingering injury. There's always something sore. There's always something. But I just really, I'm pretty much all in with Terence Crawford, man. I mean, this guy's looking like. This dude is looking like the best, man. Dare I say it? Dare I say it? What do you guys in the chat think, man? Let's go to the chat real quick. Dlo 404 says Zerto is super close to 50-0, and no one really cares. Maybe the changes if he actually gets there. He's got to fight more people, man. Zerto don't. I mean, he's with I don't know what the hell's going on over there, man. But I don't know what the hell Bob Arum's doing with Zerto, man. I mean, they should be pushing the hell out of him, man. He's Mexican. He's got a good record. He's promotable. He's a, look, man. But he's no like they said, he's close to 50-0, but nobody cares. That's true. D'Lo 404 says undefeated records have become more marketable than the actual fighters themselves. It is affecting the fights we get. Wow, that's a good statement. Crypto
Yeah, that's
Color
a great
says
statement.
Earl is a huh?
That's a great statement.
That's a great statement. Salute to D'Lo 404. Crypto Color says Earl is a beast, and so is Bud. They have to fight each other. There could only be one. Yeah, that's true, man. D'Lo 404 says Earl's IBF mandatory is like a year and a half overdue. Earl's been out of the ring 11 months. Crypto Color says Earl's fans would not put their money up against Bud. Wow, Earl left Bud. He is with Golden Boy Promotions. How the fuck do you leave? Hold on. How do you leave Bob Arum to go to Oscar De La Hoya? I mean, like,
Where the information come from?
that's what D'Lo 404 just said in the chat. He says Zerto Ramirez left Bob Arum and he's going to Golden Boy Promotions. And he's with Golden Boy Promotions right now.
Oh,
That's crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If I got over 40 professional fights and I have not lost yet, just say 20 or 30 professional fights and I haven't lost yet, and I was with, say I was with, Top Rank, I would see the field out. I would see what deals are the best. I feel like Zordo would have did a hell of a job at PBC. I mean, isn't he at 168?
I'm not
Zordo
sure.
Ramirez. Yeah, Zordo Ramirez. I think he's at 168. But he could have fought Benavidez. And I don't know if you've seen, switching the subjects up a little bit, but they said David Benavidez savagely calls out Demetrius Boo Boo Andre after that devastating win that did Demetrius Andre in the second round obliteration of Quigley. How do you feel an Andre versus Benavidez fight goes down? Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up.
Hold on. Damn.
You
Hold
mean
on
come
one
back to
second,
you?
brother.
All right.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
Let
man.
me hang this up. Hold on.
All right.
Damn it. The
That's
hell.
a good fight, man. I like that fight stylistically. Um, you know,
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Demetrius Andre is a really good fighter boxing wise, and I think he shows a lot of fight fans. This guy is a pure boxer. Demetrius Andre is a pure boxer, but he has power. And he's a southpaw. Would he give David Benavidez trouble? He could, but also he would be moving from. I believe he's at middleweight now, and he would be moving up to super middleweight, because we all know
Right.
that David Benavidez cannot make super middleweight. We all know that. We all know that. We all know that
You
David
mean
Benavidez cannot suck down anymore.
right? No.
No, hell no.
He'll kill himself. So he has in my opinion, the upper hand. I think David Benavidez. So why would he go down or do a catch weight with Demetrius Andre? That ain't the big money fights. I wouldn't go down. I mean, if
And neither
he wanna.
and that fight would not be for a title, because David Benavidez does not have a title right now.
Well, he has the WBC interim.
Who?
David Benavidez.
Oh, he did win that. I didn't know it was that. He did. You sure he won that?
Came from Mauricio Suleiman. He's the WBC interim right now because Canelo went up to cruiserweight. They probably do
Yeah. Oh, this is
yeah,
like breaking news. When did they announce this? At that convention the other day?
at the convention. Yep.
Wow. Shout out to DC Mike dropping those bombs. So he is the interim champion. So he could possibly very well be the champion soon.
Yeah, if
But that
Canelo,
fight, but I'm on BoxRec right now. David Benavidez fight when he fought Tyron Davis,
Yeah.
there was no title up for grabs on that fight. It shows you right there.
Right,
So
right.
that's recently. That must be, that's very recently that he did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Mauricio said that in the WBC convention. They're gonna elevate Dave Benavidez up to WBC interim.
Shout out to
So
D'Lo 44 says no, Corey Zordo dropped his 168-pound WBO belt and he is at 175 now. He recently destroyed Barrera and got turned down by Bivol. D'Lo 44 says Zordo's losing his belt is how Billy Joe Saunders became WBO champion, thus opening the doors for Canelo's selective butt. um wow. But yeah, man, moving forward, um there's some, like I said, man, there's some, you got to understand, man, there's a lot of fighters out there right now that would love to fight Canelo Alvarez, man. Um, After this performance, you guys, and everybody in the chat, smash that like button. After this performance, is Terence Crawford back at his spot at the top pound for pound number one? Would you put him there?
oh yeah,
Or
because he
would you
beat,
still put Canelo there? What are you doing? What are you doing with your pound for pound?
uh I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't really
It's
keep up
tough,
with the
huh?
pound for pound.
It's
Yeah,
tough, huh?
I don't really keep up with it too much anymore. Quarter pound stuff. I mean, it's a matter of opinions anyway.
Uh-huh.
I mean, my list may be a little different from yours. I don't know. I mean, whether one of them is number one or 1A or number two, he's still, top guys basically. You can put Tank up there. You can put, Crawford or Spence or Canelo or, there's a lot of guys you can put up there. But it's just a matter of opinions. But I mean, I don't know. I don't get too much into it.
So let me tell you this, you guys. Earl Spence has just said, you guys, he says his next fight, and I quote, Earl Spence was interviewed at the fight. He says his next fight will be and I quote, big one in February or March. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about that? DC Mike, what do you think? Do you think that fight could be Terence Crawford? What do you think he's saying? Could we be in for a surprise? He said February or March, and he definitely said he don't want any tune-ups. He said that religiously. You still there, DC?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. It looked like the way the chips are falling, it looked like it's gonna be Crawford.
For
If you
real?
think about it, I think so. He just ironically left top rank at the right time, and all of a
Yup.
sudden Spence said, "My fight's gonna be a big one in February."
Wow.
It only makes sense to me. So if you don't want to tune
Stylistically, but stylistically, you guys, I gotta break this fight down real quick. We got DC Mike in the build. Smash the like button. If you guys haven't, go subscribe to DC Mike TV right now. He's got a DC Mike TV on YouTube and on Instagram, and I believe he's got a Facebook and everything. So go check him out. But moving forward, Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence. Earl Spence is saying that he's got a fight coming up in February or March. It's November now, so that'll give Terence Crawford about a 3 or 4 month turnaround. Could that be a could that be a could that be a possible fight we could be looking at next? Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence, legitimately.
Oh yeah, the way everything seems to be lining up, I think so. I mean, it don't sound like it's
You
gonna be anybody else because ain't nobody else looking for nobody else except for Crawford and Spence. So I think
so
so.
you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, the more that you think about this fight and the more that you break down this fight, how do you see that type of fight going down?
Well, Spence been out a year and he going right to Crawford. I'm gonna probably at this point, I guess, give the edge to Crawford because obviously Spence has
Okay.
been out, has detached retina, blase blase. So I
Okay.
guess at this stage, I probably get an edge to Crawford.
Wow. Okay. Crypto Colors in the chat says at Coryleeboxing, Bud will beat Earl Spence with countering punches. And wow, okay, so wow, so they're saying pretty much that Earl Spence, pretty much lose that fight against Bud. That's pretty much what you're saying too, right?
I mean, at this stage, he's been out a year. Detached retina. I mean,
Two
I
years,
guess ain't
two
nothing.
years, 2 years,
Okay, it's
2 years,
2 years. See, ain't nothing on
2 years.
his side at this
Don't
point.
1 year. That's 365 days plus 365 days. Don't do just 1 year. 1 year is okay. 2 years, I'm concerned.
Yeah, he's been out 2 years.
2 years,
Detached
man.
retina. So it's like, the momentum is not even on his side at all. It really ain't. So once again, if they fight in February or March and he beat Spence, man, Spence was out 2 years anyway. I already see what's gonna happen. So once again, if y'all gonna come with excuses, after if Crawford beats him early part of next year, if y'all gonna come with excuses, stop pushing for Spence and Crawford, please.
Wow.
I
So
mean, Corey, do you see that coming?
what?
If they fight next year, let's say them two match up, and then let's say they fight and Crawford beat him, you don't see the excuses coming after that?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. But Earl Spence has said on all records that he does not want to tune up. He said Earl Spence is saying that he does not want to tune up. Earl Spence has been firm on that. Him not wanting to tune up and him wanting to fight the best. So to
Right.
be the best, you got to fight the best.
Right.
So
Right.
I truly feel like like
But
Crypto Color says, he says Bud will beat Earl with counterpunching. It's gonna be tough, man, but we'll see. Coming up next week, though, you guys, I gotta break down the fights coming up. We got Teofimo Lopez fighting George Kambosos for the WBA, the IBF, for the WBA, the IBF, and the WBC franchise, the WBO junior welterweight titles. So all of those fights will be will be on deck. That fight is gonna go down at the on the zone at the cool and the Madison Square Garden in New York City. Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos. How do you see that fight going down, DC Mike?
I don't know too much about Cambosis, but I do know what Teofimo can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I can't say too much on it. I don't know about Cambosis. I don't know how
You
he
don't
fight or
really
any of
know a
that.
lot about Kambosos, so you pretty much
Nope.
picking Teofimo Lopez by default.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't
So,
really answer that, everybody.
my personal opinion is I think George Kambosos is a pretty good fighter. He's undefeated. But we all know Teofimo Lopez did what he did against Lomachenko. Lomachenko stylistically is a really, really good fighter. And I still think Lomachenko has a lot left. It was a really good close fight. Um, some people would say that it wasn't that close. Some people say that Teofimo Lopez, beat the shit out of Lomachenko. I don't think that that's the case. Um, but Teofimo Lopez is a good fighter, and I would love to see Teofimo Lopez in there with bigger and better fighters than George Kambosos. I think he does win this fight by stoppage, and I think he's on. But Teofimo Lopez is so young to have all of these belts, and he's only 16-0 professionally. So moving forward, I mean, I just really think that he he's a good fighter. Like I said, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO all will be on deck, and the WBC franchise, which they say Devin Haney's the real champion. I would love to see that fight if he gets past this guy. Um, but like I said, I think Teofimo Lopez wins that fight by stoppage. George Kambosos 19-0 with 10 knockouts. He's fought Lee Shelby by split. He won that by split decision. He beat Mickey Bay by split decision. I mean, his last two fights were razor thin, and it was like one of those things like his last knockout was versus Richard Pina. I mean, he hasn't really fought anybody. He hasn't really fought anybody. So, to say he's one of the best or to say he's, we gotta see George Camboso. We gotta see, man. He's from Australia. He's coming to America, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Could be his coming out party. We don't know. We don't know a whole lot about him. But moving forward, another fight that's on tap for this coming up is the Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa. That's for the WBO and the WBC bantamweight unification fight, you guys. That'll be on Showtime, November 27th, coming up next week. How do you see that fight going down, DC Mike? I know you know both of those fighters.
Yeah, my boy Stephon Fulton, cool boy Steph. Shouts out to him. I think it's gonna be a tough fight, man. To be honest with you,
You think so?
Stephon, yeah, Stephon can box, but in his last fight, he proved if he fights a guy that likes to keep the pressure on him, his coach may tell him, okay, don't have him back you up. If he wanna, stay in the pocket and bang box, basically, I guess box as much as you can. If he pushes you back too much, and don't let him do that, you start pushing him back. So I think he may, getting because obviously Brandon Figueroa is a slugger. He wants, be in your face, and I think he's gonna, basically get excuse me, Stephon Fulton into that kind of fight with him.
You think
So I
so?
think I think his boxing will go out the window. I mean, that he did that in his last fight. Remember, the guy kept coming at him, so he eventually stopped moving and stood in the pocket, took his shots, blocked and countered, and just kind of stood there. Not saying nothing wrong with it, but I think he's gonna pretty much do the same damn thing. I mean, y'all in the comment section, y'all may think otherwise. I don't know, but I think Stephon is gonna kind of want to stand there to make Brandon Figueroa respect him. I think he may box a little bit, and if he not, because Stephon's not really a big puncher, so Brandon's gonna keep coming. So at some point in the fight, I think his coach will be like, okay, he's still backing you up. You gotta make him respect you, and he's gonna, stay in the pocket and kind of bang with Brandon. So I know that's gonna be Brandon's fight, but I guess we'll see. It's gonna be a tough fight though. It's gonna be a damn tough fight. What do you think, Corey? You think otherwise? Uh oh. Yeah, Corey's had some audio problems, guys. But what do you guys think in the comment section? You guys think Stephon Fulton and Brandon Figueroa is a tough fight for either guy, or what? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. My headset went out, man. This bullshit ass headset. But yeah, right now, Stephen Fulton is 19-0 with 8 knockouts, and Brandon Figueroa is 22-0. Okay, right now with 17 knockouts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Figueroa fought Luis Neris, which was 31-0, and he knocked him out. That was a very good win versus Luis Neris. And that was for the WBC Super Bantamweight title and the WBA Super Bantamweight title. So he's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
fighting for both of those straps coming up. And I thought Brandon Figueroa was a champion too. I thought both fighters were champions.
I'm not sure. I think Stephon. I think he's the Don't quote me on this, y'all. He's the
No,
interim
he's the
champion. I don't.
no. He was the WBO champion. Stephen Forden, uh, Cool Boy was he's the WBO champion. He won that from the Angel um Angelo Leo. He with 20-0, one of Mayweather's former fighters.
Angelo Leo.
Yeah, he beat
Hmm.
him. He beat him was 20-0. He beat him for the WBO by unanimous decision. And now he's fighting. Now he's fighting for that WBO strap again. But the only thing is that WBC belt is going to be on the line too. So I think if he wins this fight, I think Cool Boy will be in a pretty good position moving forward. And this is a fight that I would love to see. Next week, you guys, it's going down. I got Fulton winning that fight by unanimous decision in a tough drag out fight. But I got him winning that fight, man. I definitely got
You
him
got
winning
him
that fight.
by unanimous, you said?
I got him winning that fight by unanimous decision.
Okay. So how do you see it going? Do you think he tries to box him, or do you think he stands in the pocket again and try
I
to get
think
Brandon to respect him?
I think Cool Boy's gonna try to box him, but we all know once your boxing doesn't work, that goes out the window, and they start doing other things. But I think he boxes him, man. I think he boxes him, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. But moving forward, we got Canelo Alvarez. One of the last topics we're gonna talk about is Canelo Alvarez moving to fucking cruiserweight, dude. How do you feel about that? I mean, what do you think about the fighter he's fighting? I mean, is this a gimmick? Is this the real deal? He is the champion. He did get beat by Alexander Usyk and stopped before, but he is a WBC champion again. So, what do you think about this fight coming up? I mean, how do you feel about this, man?
I don't know too much about the other guy. Again, let me take a quick picture. I don't know too much about the other guy. I really can't say. But if he lost to Usyk, I mean, he just might have a puncher's chance. I don't know too much about the other guy, so I really can't speak on him. But maybe 30 pounds may slow Canelo down. I really can't say. I'm sorry, y'all.
Right now.
Yeah, because I don't know too much about the other guy. There you go. I don't know what the other guy can do.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo Alvarez is set to fight, and they're saying that the fight is going to be in Africa.
It's okay.
So they're
That's
saying that,
That's a good look. That's a good look.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it only makes sense because it makes sense because the other guy's from Caribbean or African country. He's a champion, so he's like also gonna be a big mega fight with Canelo. So it's kind of gonna be like with Muhammad Ali for George Foreman. Let's take it to the African countries, and let's try to touch as many countries as we can. So I mean, it makes sense. It's different. It makes sense, and I don't see nothing wrong with it.
You think it's pretty good?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I want to
I
see.
damn sure
I want
do.
to see. Huh? Yeah, I want
I
to
damn
see. I
sure
mean,
do.
I really want to see where this goes. I really think that, I think he can do good. I think Canelo Alvarez can do good. I think Canelo Alvarez is a really good fighter. He's fighting, he's fighting a guy right now that's pretty good. Canelo Alvarez is 57-1, dude. 57 wins, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just came off a win of a Caleb Plant. He just beat Caleb Plant. And moving forward, man, I really truly think that, he's a really good fighter, man. I really truly do, man. Like you said, you don't know a whole lot about you don't know a whole lot about the fighter that he's fighting. But like I said, man, to be at this top level, you got to be able to fight, the who's who, and
Mm-hmm.
I really truly think that, Canelo Alvarez just beat Caleb Plant by knockout. He beat Billy Joe Sanders by knockout. He beat Your Dome by knockout. He beat Colin Smith, and he hurt him too. He beat Kovalev by knockout. Beat Danny Jacobs by unanimous decision. Rocky Fielding by knockout. But the Gennady Golovkin, man, do you feel like that chapter's closed, or do you feel like they should fight for a third time?
I don't want to say it again.
I haven't seen Triple G. I feel like he hasn't fought since 20. They haven't fought since 2018, dude.
Yeah, Triple G's already 38 years old. I think it'll kind of be the same old drag, neck and neck type fight. Some fans will feel like, oh, it was a robbery, oh, it was a draw, oh, he should have won. It'll be the same drag, and I don't want to see it no more. I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some fans may feel otherwise.
So they're saying that Canelo Alvarez is gonna move up to heavyweight. I mean, excuse me, cruiserweight, and fight, you know, the cruiserweight. But one of those things, man. So they've already taken a picture together. So here's the picture, you guys, of Canelo Alvarez versus the possibly the future fighter that he's gonna be fighting soon. He's an African descent. He's a pretty good fighter. He's a WBC champion. Um, but a lot of people don't know about this guy. His name is Alunga Makabu. Okay, and he's a pretty good fighter, but he has his limits, man. Ian Campbell says Canelo's going to rehydrate, limit that man. Oh
Yeah,
man,
probably.
already the deets. Yeah, he probably will, man. He's the A side. He probably will. So they've already had the face off. They already had the press conference, which I didn't know about. Wow, man. So yeah, he's 28-2. Like I said, both of his losses came by knockout. He lost to Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew knocked him out for the vacant WBC cruiserweight title. And then he fought. Oh, he lost his professional debut. Excuse me, he never fought Usyk. That was another African guy that fought Usyk. But he did fight Tony Bellew, and Tony Bellew did knock him out, and Alexander Usyk knocked out Tony Bellew. So you do the math. But his first professional fight in 2008, when he turned pro on June 20th of 2008, he lost by knockout. He lost his first fight by knockout by a guy that was making his pro debut, and that guy right now is 8-14. So he lost to him. He got knocked out by him, and then he lost by 26-2, Tony Bellew. So we'll see, man. He fought a guy named I can't even Olachiju I can't even pronounce this guy's name. He fought him in his last fight in 2020. This guy, and that's another thing. This guy has not even been active. Okay, he has not fought since damn near 2019. He fought in December 19th, 2020. Okay, that was a long time ago. That was almost 2 years ago. In December, it'll be 2 years. Okay, and I mean he's fought in guys that I've never heard of to win the title. And like I said, we'll see. But moving forward, any closing statements before we wrap up the live stream? DC Mike, you got anything to say before we wrap up the live stream, my brother? Oh,
I'm sorry, what you say, Corey?
Right now, y'all. I said you got
I'm sorry,
anything to say before we wrap up the live stream, my brother?
Oh yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming in and tuning in, to watch Corey's podcast and to listen to him and listen to me, and any boxing updates you guys can follow Corey and follow myself, and if anybody in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, follow us, and that's all.
Yeah, so you guys go check out DC Mike TV at YouTube and on Instagram, man. And yeah, man, we did our thing, man. Now y'all can go about y'all day. Go share this, go like this, and share this on all media platforms. And yeah, man, appreciate you doing your thing, DC Mike. And until next week, you guys. This is Coryleeboxing, and you've just been hit with another banger. Ice season, baby. Peace out, y'all.